Today is the day that I'm going to be taking my calves to the auction barn in Lockhart, Texas, so that they can be sold tomorrow at auction. And I've got a couple of my buddies coming to help me with that, specifically Wes Davis and his son, because they have a trailer that I don't have currently that they can help me use to take my calves to the auction. So what I'm going to do to get ready for their visit is to grab a few things from the stockroom here so that when we get to the back of the property, we can corral them as we need to. And so a couple of things I'm going to use are right here. I keep a couple of flags that I use from time to time with both my chickens and my cows to help move them in the direction I want. I also have these things called Rattle Paddles, and they have like some little beads inside that you can use to rattle around the cattle to move them in the direction that you want. Now, I already had somebody help me earlier today put the calves into the working pen area, but I wanted to have these things handy just in case we need to kind of prod the calves along and they're not cooperating. So, that's why I'm taking them with me. All right, so here are Wes and his son now. I'm going to open the gate for them, and then we'll head to the back. At this point, I hopped in the truck with Wes Davis and his son Weston, and we headed to the back of the property where I have my cattle pens. So you're just working with your dad now, doing?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how's the cattle business, Wes?
Got its ups and downs.
Hopefully it's up this week.
It ain't changing from day to day.
How do you like working in the cattle business?
I like it. It's just too hot.
I was gonna say, I'm ready for fall myself. Can't imagine being out there all day.
We shut it down.
We're gonna help a guy here. We're gonna pin some
1:30 to 2 o'clock, and then come back later.
Oh, is that right?
That's way too hot to go into 3 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that'll roast you. Yeah, I probably had them a little bit longer than I should have.
Real good gauge.
But it's time. that's how you get calves in a trailer to go to auction. We're going to go ahead and give the cows wormer cubes instead of trying to worm them because they get real spooky. So I'm going to go ahead and let them out, and I'll come back and feed them some worm cubes another day. I'm just going around right now and opening up all of these sliding gates here so that if the cows come in or the bull comes in and goes around the ewe, they're not trapped, because here comes the bull right now. So they don't get trapped in here. I just want to open everything up. So I opened up that one over there, and I opened up that one over there, and I opened up the head gate. The head gate over there too, I kept it open so that if they do get in the ewe, they have a way to get out. All right, so one more gate to open up over here, and then we'll be on our way.
Give yourself a pat on the back, Mike.
Why's that?
You raised some of the best calves you're going to find in this area.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. I have no idea if I'm doing it right or wrong, but I just try to do it to where it feels like they're healthy, you know.
They look good.
Well, thanks.
Anybody that I know that's a rancher that was born into it for 5 generations would have loved to have them.
Oh, well, man, I appreciate that. That's good to know. It's good to know. What is your philosophy on keeping the heifers and keeping them 2 years to put a bull on them, you know, and breed them back? I mean, you're a cattleman, so it's for you, it's probably, you know, second nature. But talking about a guy like me that isn't doing this for...
I wouldn't mess with it.
That's kind of what I thought.
There's too much problems with maybe having calving problems with them.
Right. That's what my thinking was.
You know,
why risk it? Risk you lose the mama and the calf.
Yeah. And then back on those cattle there, you're going to get heifers like that. I mean, they would make good cows, but you know, I mean, if you're just doing it, then you'd want to switch bulls.
Yeah, you have to have a lot more cross fencing and making sure the bull's not going on them too.
I would just take the route you've taken.
Okay, well, good to know.
Don't think you could do it any better.
Well, I appreciate that. It's good to know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought when I went back there and I couldn't see in that pen, there was gonna be some little 300 to 400 pound calves in there that you were wanting to pull off of your cows.
And you were gonna tell me, Mike, it's too early.
I was gonna load them up and go. I didn't think I'd be hauling off some cattle like that, weighing 700 pounds.
Yeah, well, thanks. I asked Wes, what's the ideal time to take calves to auction?
You either got to take them late in the evening like we're doing now, or you got to get early in the morning, because these cattle don't do good when it gets hot.
Yeah. How early does the auction start?
The auction starts at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
And they start on cows first.
Where do calves come in? Before bulls or after bulls?
Calves will come in after they get through with the cows and bulls.
Okay.
And we'll sell the dry cows and bulls, and then the bred cows, and then they'll sell pairs, and then they'll start in on the calves.
That's why they're liable to shrink some, because they're going to be there
They're going
all
to be
day.
standing there.
Yeah.
And we're going to have them put them on water, and maybe some hay.
Okay.
They'll eat hay.
Cool. All right, we're on our way to the auction barn in Lockhart to take the calves so that they can be sold tomorrow. It sounds like they will not be sold probably until after midday tomorrow, because the auction barn sells the dry cows, meaning cows that aren't lactating or have any calves on them at the moment. And then they sell bulls. Then they sell pairs, which are cows with babies at their side. And at the end of the day is when they'll sell the calves. That's why a lot of folks don't take their cows, or in particular their calves, to the auction until the day of, because they don't want their calves sitting there not eating for, you know, the rest of today and then all day tomorrow until they get sold. Unfortunately, I couldn't wait till tomorrow to bring them because I had other things I have to do tomorrow, and had to coordinate with Wes and his son to move them. The other thing is when you sell your calves at the auction, if you end up going the day of the auction, you're obviously going to get a number that's higher, meaning that your calves are going to be sold later in the calf group. So the problem with that is that if you have some buyers who come and buy calves early and pay a premium for them, as the day wears on, the calf prices go down. So it's kind of a toss-up between taking your calves the day before and hoping that they don't lose too much weight overnight versus taking them the day of and hoping that they get sold at a reasonable time during that day so that you don't get hit too badly with low prices. So anyway, just some things to think about when you're taking animals to auction. But like I said, today I had no choice. I had to take my calves today because it's when it worked for my schedule. So when we get to the auction house, I'll show you kind of how they tag the animals as they come in off of the trailer, and we'll kind of walk around and just take a look at the auction barn. So we'll catch up then. Lined up, ready for them to take us in a few. Do they have separate stickers for cows, bulls, and calves, or they just number them sequentially?
The same kind of tag. It's just a different number on their back.
But in other words, if I get 120, do I know that I'm going to be the 120th calf in the calf section, or is that?
No.
It just means as of all the animals
as they
that
come in.
As they come in, yeah.
And the cattle, and they're not going to sell in order as 1 through whatever.
They're not?
No, they might might be 50 of them in a pile, and they're not going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. They might be start at 50 and go down. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Just
however they go in.
I got you.
I mean, they'll start with the low numbers, like 1 through whatever. In the I call it a jackpot pen. So say all the guys that bring in 2 or 3 head, they're going to have a jackpot pen where they throw all those cattle, and they'll run it, say first of the sale. Those cattle come in, and then they'll get on the ranch calves. The people that have the larger number of calves, they'll have a pen to themselves. You know, however many's in there, and they'll run all that man's calves, and then they'll go in order. You know, as they came, as their tag. And then, you know, say after 200 head, they'll have another jackpot pen where somebody, you know, people that came in later in the day, they put all their calves in one pen and they'll run that pen.
Why do you call it a jackpot pen?
Well, just jackpotted together.
Gotcha.
It could be mine, yours,
gotcha.
5 other people, you know.
Gotcha. I asked Wes if the guys that were working the auction on this particular evening are always here, and he said a handful of them are full-time employees, but with respect to the rest.
And these other guys will come in tonight, and they'll work tonight, and then in the morning they'll have a whole crew of people that'll come and work these alleys as they run the cattle one at a time. They'll call out a pin number, and there'll be a guy standing at that pin. He'll open the gate and then close the gate, and they have maybe 10, 12 guys up and down the alley working the alley gates, opening and closing them, and these people that are working here will be working here again in the morning of the sale, and then they'll work till the sale's over, and they'll go home, and there'll be 1 or 2 guys that'll stay here throughout the night loading trucks and into the next day.
What are they doing when they're not working on auction day? Or
a lot of them go to another auction the next day.
Okay.
So they'll work this auction, and then they'll be back tomorrow. So say today's Wednesday, they work somewhere today at an auction, and then Thursday they go to a different auction. And most of them work 5 to 6 sales a week.
Wow. Well, I guess that way you keep guys that know what they're doing, you know.
Yeah, each one of them, like say you got a guy that calls the pins. He tells the people where to pin them. You know, he'll do that. You got to have somebody that knows what's going on, or you'll have cattle mixed in every different pen. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when they go to load them out, they wouldn't know where they're at. Then you've got you know, guys that bring the cattle up from the back. You know, everybody's kind of got their own little job that they do. You've got an auctioneer, you know, he'll make 5 or 6 sales a week.
So they make the circuit too, the auctioneers.
Yes, auctioneers, yeah, they go to a different sale.
And over here they're going to get stickers. As you can see, they put 2 stickers on the back of each calf for redundancy. That way, if one of the stickers falls off by the time of the auction, hopefully the other one is still there. And over the course of just a short period of time after the calves are sold, those stickers will just naturally fall off. You'll also notice that the guy who is throwing the stickers on the back of each calf is pretty doggone accurate. After the stickers have been placed on the backs of the calves and those numbers have been recorded, then the calves are directed to the pen where they will spend the night until the auction tomorrow. So this is a copy of the receipt that I received, and you can see that my calves got tag numbers 201 to 211. I'm not certain what the other annotations mean under the description column, but it doesn't matter because with the tag numbers, I'll be able to follow my calves through the auction process tomorrow when I come back to check it out. Some people will actually stay for the auction or come back for the auction the next day. Others just know the auction house, kind of like I do here. I know it. And trust that they're going to go through the auction at the correct price, and they're going to, give me the correct amount when they're sending me a check, and they'll mail the check to you. But in this case, if I can, I'm going to try and come back tomorrow and actually attend the auction so I can show you what that looks like. And we'll see if I can see my calves going across the auction arena. I'll see if I can time it to where I can see them actually, going through that process. So until then. If you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up below. You can also check out one of my other videos here and stay up to date by subscribing to my YouTube channel right here. Until next time, I'll see you on the ranch.